Today we'll be making some brioche buns. And the best part, you don't even have to knead them. Just mix it all up and let time do the work for you. To top it off, we will dress them up with some garlic butter and cream cheese and try to replicate that popular Korean street snack, garlic cheese bread. And if you're new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button for more baking recipes with me. Okay, let's start. In a bowl, measure out your ingredients and just mix it. Once all your ingredients are in, we'll just quickly mix it and make sure that there are no dry patches of flour. I'm just using a spatula. You can use a spoon or chopsticks, anything works. Once everything is all mixed up, just gather it all to the center, give it a quick pat for good luck, let the dough rest for 1.5 hours in a microwave, a cold oven, or covered with plastic. While the dough is resting, we can move on to make the cream cheese filling. In a food processor, just dump all your ingredients in and mix it all up until it's even. If you do not have a food processor, you can use a mixer or manually with a fork. At this point, I decided to add half an egg to the mixture as I kind of wanted it to be more of a molten-y texture. I saw a few recipes online and it did not require egg, but I think it will improve the texture much more, as cream cheese tends to dry out in the oven sometimes. Now that it's looking smooth and even, we're just gonna transfer it to a bowl, cover it in plastic, and keep it in the fridge until we are ready to use it. Now let's prepare the garlic butter. So peel off all that garlic skin, and again in a food processor, I'm just gonna blend all of these up. If you do not have a food processor, just use a knife to chop up all the garlic into really fine pieces and then mix it all up together. Again, from the recipes I see online, they added some condensed milk and honey to this butter mixture. However, I did not have those ingredients, so I just used sugar. Both recipes will be in the description down below, so do check them out. Keep blending until the garlic is a fine mince. Pour that into another bowl and we'll set that aside until we're ready to use it. Make sure to scrape all those garlic bits of goodness up. By this time, it should be almost 1.5 hours and we can take our dough out. Remember to wet your hands before touching the dough as it will help prevent it from sticking. And we're gonna give it a few stretches to strengthen the gluten structure of this dough since we did not need anything. So I do this by scooping up the dough from the sides, pulling it up, and then folding it back to the middle. I repeat this process for approximately 30 times. And don't forget to keep rotating the bowl after each fold. After those stretches, you can see that the dough is much stronger as it can retain its ball shape, and we will let that rest for another 1.5 hours. Once it has been rested, we are gonna pour it out of the bowl. Make sure that the surface is heavily floured, your hands are floured, so then the dough will not stick everywhere as this dough is really wet. Just be generous with the flour. So once it's on the table, again, I'm just covering the surface again with more flour. Be very gentle with this dough also because it's super fluffy and we do not want to be bursting all those precious air bubbles. Now we're gonna divide this dough into 4 equal pieces. Each ball should be around 115 grams. Now we will start shaping the balls. Gently take one and kind of flatten it. Take the corner pieces and fold it into the middle. Again, be very gentle with the dough. when you're folding it into the middle, don't push it into the dough, just place it gently on top. It will take its shape slowly, so be patient. I do roughly around 10 folds for each ball. Once it's sort of a circular shape, I roll it over to the top and then I drag it on the table to create surface tension on the top of the ball. This will give the ball a very nice round shape during proofing and baking. If you did not create enough surface tension, your ball will just melt into quite a flat shape during baking and it will not have a nice bouncy look to it. Repeat the process for the 3 other balls. Remember to be gentle with your dough and do not deflate all those precious bubbles, otherwise you'll end up with a very doughy bread instead of a fluffy one. And surface tension! Once you have all 4 balls, let them rest for 15 minutes and repeat the process again. The whole point is that we really want to create this surface tension to make a perfect circle so then it can retain its shape in the oven. I find that using a little bit less flour on the surface makes it easier to drag the ball and create a nice taut skin on it. Once you're happy with the ball, we'll place that on the baking tray. Make sure to give plenty of space around each ball as they are gonna expand quite significantly in the oven. Again, this goes to proof for another 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, it should significantly look double the size. Give it a quick brush of milk before proceeding to bake. Each oven will bake differently, so this is just a rough guideline. Also, don't forget to rotate your pans if there are different hot spots in your oven. Once the buns have finished baking and cooled down, we can start to assemble it. So some cream cheese in a piping bag, and then we'll cut the buns into 6 equal pieces. I find that using a serrated knife is much easier to cut the bun. Make sure you don't cut through it. Leave the base still intact. The bun is super fluffy, so please be very gentle. Now we are gonna dip them in the garlic butter. Because this is gonna get messy, wear gloves. Generously coated, full of garlic and butter. So make sure you get each cut fully coated with butter and a generous amount of garlic. Once that's all done, we can fill it up with the cheese. So pipe it from the base and move upwards. Once all the sides are filled, don't forget to fill up the center as well. It is a little bit liquidy, but that's fine. It will bake up to be really molten. And then top it up with more garlic butter on top. I've seen videos on how they do it in Korea, and they fill it up with cheese first before dipping it in the butter. However, I find that it's much easier to dip the butter first, then fill it up with cheese. Oh my god, the smell, you guys, it's insane. Like, I'm editing this right now and I really want to make some more. It is literally that good. is your no knead brioche, plus some garlic cheesy goodness. I hope you guys like the buns as much as I do because I think it's super delicious. And as usual, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.